Okay, Bight Size Film Theory, Installment 1. Film, like every kind of art, is made up of form and content. And the analogy of form and content being like the container, like imagine a clay pitcher, and the liquid inside the container. The container being the form and the liquid inside being the content, only describes, I'd say, a third of the relationship between form and content in art and in film, especially in film. In understanding the relationship between form and content, I think film is, if it's like any other kind of art, it's most like music. That is, form plays a very important role in film, as much so as music. If you think about music, think about how important the form is. The beat, the melody, the arrangement of instruments, that's all form, regardless of content. Whereas, if it were a book, it could be a report, and it could mostly be content with little regard for the form. That is, they don't give a lot of effort into breaking it into sections and having different characters deliver the content. But in film, sound and image design, it plays out very much the way music does. What am I talking about when I'm talking about form in film? It can be any element of the film throughout the film in a pattern and can be looked at as a pattern and therefore changed or created as a pattern. So the form that the music takes in the film can be looked at. You can look at that form and sort of separate it from the rest of the film. The type of aperture that is selected for the camera can be looked at in terms of its form. You could start out with 22 millimeter and gradually towards the end of the film you could be working with a 70 millimeter, and that could affect the overall look of the picture as it goes along. You could have the form of quiet and loud. You could have the movie start out very quietly, where the volume meter is only like going like that, and have it slowly build so that towards the end it's going like that. That includes content, that includes narrative, that includes the... In film, content and form are so much one and the same. Now think about how in music so often form becomes essential content. You get a groove going, you get a rhythm, and that's all form, and yet it affects us in such a way as to give us content, to give us an attitude about life, a feeling. And that's how powerful form is in music, and that's exactly how powerful form is in film too. They're very much the same thing. Film being that you have moving images along with moving sound. So if you're a musician and you're working with a certain part of the music and it's like the main chorus, and and you just come across a really great part of the song, and you have it worked out, and you know where it's going to fit in the rest of the song, and you have a pretty good feeling about how your audience is going to respond to it. What you're doing is you're working with form. And in film, you do the same thing. So if you're conceptualizing how the different places will look throughout the film, and you're working on a particular set, and you're thinking about how it relates to the other scenes in the film, and you have a pretty good idea about what effect it will have on people if the set is, like, say if it's raining, which is used a lot, you can understand exactly how it's going to play into the mood of the film. You're working with form. And so in that way, when you're working with form, you're working with film on a very abstract level. You're no longer, I'm going to do a film about, how my neighbor throws shoes out in the road. That's content. But if you're going to do that, and then you're going to say, I'm going to do one segment where I'm going to have stills of 200 of these shoes, one after the other, and I'm going to have Brandenburg number 5 playing. That's form. And you're looking, when you're working on film in that way, you're working more as an abstract artist than as a provider of content. When you begin to look at film and work with film in terms of its form, it's very helpful to consider yourself in essence a musician, because that really gives you a lot of tools to work with as far as being an abstract artist who is working with film. Hope that was helpful. If you want to encourage me to make more Bight Size Film Theory, hit the like button, leave a comment please, and subscribe. And also, please, if you have any time at all, check out my free animated episodes at solomation.com. It's probably will be my life work, considering I'll probably be 80 when I'm done with it. It's going to be a lot of episodes. solomation.com. I hope your art goes well, and I hope you have an abstract day.